Is an effort to show you how I bring together and work with some of the residue of my reading of different original forms of content. By different, I mean, books, Kindle books that I've read, journal articles that I've read in PDF, and how I store them, and some other ideas about why digital tools, why digital content, I guess, would be the purpose here. This is a program called Obsidian. The point here isn't really to explore Obsidian in total. It's great, a great tool. It's free to use. It can be upgraded with various kinds of extensions, and maybe you'll get just enough of a picture here to look at some of my other material, and just search online and see what you can find about Obsidian. So a couple of things to note here. Down the left-hand column, you'll see kind of a hierarchical organization of notes I've taken in Obsidian. I've taken notes, again, because I'm interested in note-taking, individual notes related to note-taking. So you see a category here, and then all of these individual notes. This happens to be a comment with a citation about highlighting, right? So you have all of these individual notes. You'll see this one has been tagged with highlighting. Sometimes when you look at these individual notes, you'll see links. So what you do is you create this fairly sophisticated collection and web and annotated material that you can search, explore, look for connections in, and use as resources for other things, for writing tasks mostly. The one example I want to show you in some depth involves collections of material that I have generated by highlighting and reading Kindle books. So here you'll see a heading called Readwise. I'll explain why it's Readwise in a second. And within Readwise, you'll see a subheading Articles and a subheading Books. All of these, and you may, if I go slow, you may recognize these are book titles for the most part. And with Kindle, you may know that you can export your highlights and notes. One tool for doing that, one but not the only, is something called Readwise. What Readwise really is a way to collect annotations from all kinds of other tools. So Readwise is going to kind of inhale from all my Kindle resources, all of my Kindle notes. Likewise, depending on the tools that I've used to read PDFs, it can do the same with that. So these are all books, and let's say here's one on annotation. Maybe you've recognized that that's a book, and so if I open up annotation, I'm opening up just the highlights and notes that I created within Kindle while reading a Kindle book, in this case, annotation. You see there's some metadata there. It indicates who the author was, etc. Now, if I want, I can work with this content directly. I can search Obsidian to find things within this content. If I want, I can add metadata to I can add other metadata to this collection of notes, so that I maybe have additional ways to search it. I can link from here to individual notes. But what's interesting here and what's shown is that when Readwise takes this material, it retains a link back to the book itself. So the book is, again, within my digital system. I own the book, or I guess, I don't know if that's something that, that's an interesting issue with Kindle books. Do you own it or not? I can't give it to you. Well, and I can in some ways, but so let's just say Amazon and I own this material. I have stored in my devices, that book, and I've taken these notes and I've moved them kind of away from the original document, using Readwise into Obsidian. And I'll show you what's kind of interesting is I can, if I want, and I need to for some reason, go backwards. So you see it says location. I click on that. It goes through this kind of strange sequence here. It's going to open up a browser, which you can see in the back room, and now you can see that Kindle is opening. And you see kind of my individual Kindle books, and just a second, it looks through the book back to that specific note. So here it is, and this is very useful if I find something and I want then to not just rely upon that particular highlight or that particular note, but I want to go back to the context within which that note or highlight was taken and recorded. And again, for the process of me writing things, that's basically how I'm using Obsidian. I'm using it both to take that information. I can abstract it from there. I can take it from there and use it for writing tasks in different ways, or I can explore. So it's really about collecting ideas over time and being able to kind of run these ideas into each other, to create something new, to create something original from my own imagination, if I choose to write about this kind of material. Let me go back quickly then and show you one more thing about Obsidian. You see over here on the right something that's an extension of Obsidian. It's called Smart Connections. It's an AI tool. And what it's good for, and maybe how it's different from maybe the other AI tools that you've read about or used yourself, something like Chat GPT, which is, a way for you to ask questions and have Chat GPT use its large language base to write an answer. Smart Connections is a tool, a smart AI tool that builds from, it writes from my content, the content I've collected. So it's an extension within Obsidian that uses my Obsidian notes. And I can have a conversation with it related to the notes in the material, my highlights that I've accumulated. So just to give you one quick taste of what this is and maybe just to imagine how you might use it yourself. Let me put in a prompt here. So I'm going to start with based on my notes. You kind of understand that a lot of my interest is in digital note-taking and using digital notes in writing. So I'm going to say, based on my notes, write a 400-word blog post comparing the benefits of digital notes to notes taken on paper, right? Just to see what it can come up with. So anyway, you can see it's thinking. And I guess what I should have done, I should have asked it for the links, because what I can do with this is I can ask it, to show me the links back to my notes. So where did you get this from, in other words? But I'll just do this and then kind of summarize. So, there I'm capturing that, cutting and pasting it, or not pasting it, but cutting it. I'm going to just open another space so I can show you what it's written here. So it's written a blog post that titles "Embracing the Digital Age: The Benefit of Digital Notes." And here's all the stuff, and you can see it's it's more organized and searchability. It can be shared. It can be pretty interesting stuff. So again, all of these things. My point is here work together. They all show the benefit of working with digital and how it can be a creative resource for collecting, reorganizing, and maybe even generating new ideas, because all these tools kind of come together. So just to review the tools you've seen and how they're related, I take notes, let's say from books in Kindle. I use something called Readwise to examine these notes, but in this case I'm using Readwise to take the notes and store them within Obsidian. It's kind of this giant note. I can review those, link those, annotate those, and I can go back to the original sources. Or I can ask Obsidian through an AI system to combine that content with other content and produce a written product. So I hope this quick demonstration, me talking you through what's kind of a workflow, will give you some ideas about digital tools you might want to explore yourself.